King Kong ain't got nothing on me. A little training day as we prepare for training camp. Who do we have our eye on? We got two of them. So let's see who we got our eyes on right now, right here. Boy Green meets Wudi is live.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Welcome to another episode of Boy Green Meets Wudi. It is your boy, James Wudi. All caps, no cap. All right, and we got Boy Green over here. How you doing, Boy Green?
Let me ask Brandon how I'm doing. Let's go, Boy Green on YouTube. Let me ask NY Flight Jets Talk how I'm doing. Boy Green and I was going to say Jake Asman. James Wudi in all caps, no cap, as you say. That's a great line. You should put that on a T-shirt. And then all the wonderful people I see on Instagram: Stealth Harris, Receiver 10, all you people, all you beautiful people. It's beautiful. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Woody. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are looking at training camp. Not too far away. A couple more sleeps. And when I say a couple, more like 30. So it's not tomorrow. It's not tomorrow. Yes, we are here. Let's go, Brandon. Yeah. So a few more sleeps will get there. But there's a lot of players, right? A lot of players that are currently on the roster are going to get down. All right. To the 53 man. So who do we have our eyes on as training camp unfolds to see what kind of storylines develop? I think we got another Tuesday top 5 coming.
That we do. The top 5 Jet players that we're watching out for ahead of training camp. Ones that intrigue us, one that we're keeping an eye on that could have some intriguing storyline perhaps or impact for the New York Jets. So, yeah, baby. I got a top 5 right in front of me. A juicy top 5.
All right. Well, you're going to have to wait a little bit because I'm going first.
Oh, okay.
All right. With my list starting off number 5. This is a weird one because I know right now he's probably at the top of everybody's list. What's going on with this guy. The belief is that by training camp, his deal will be signed. But even, signed, sealed, delivered, I still want Hassan Reddick on my watch list because I need to know, during the off season, I'm seeing him in the kimono, chilling in Japan. I don't know what he's doing. Okay. I don't know if he is in game shape. I don't know if he's ready for the all gas, no brakes.
He's in samurai shape. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's 2 different shapes. There are no swords on the defensive line. So I just want to make sure that he is still in tip-top shape. So I will definitely be keeping my eye on what Reddick is doing during training camp.
I like that one. Let me give you a proper. Yeah, I just hope he's there to be watched. Hopefully, as one of those top 5 guys. That's not a bad guy to have on the sheet. There's no doubt about it. But I want to put number 5 on this list, Jordan Travis. Our franchise quarterback of the future, FSU superstar, JT Money. JT3, as some have called him out in the universe. Jordan Travis.
Who has? One person has one?
Someone did. I don't know who. It just a group
Someone
of
other
people.
than you?
A group of people called him
Okay.
that. And RG3 is a big fan since we're going with these like 3 little letter names here. RG3 is a massive fan of Jordan Travis, and I want to see him. We haven't seen him. We've seen, let me rephrase it. We've seen him. He's been there. holding some clipboards, playing some, two-hand touch, but he is supposed to be ready for training camp or in the mix at the training camp time. And I want to see his development and see his evolution and what flashes he has, because to be honest, training camp or preseason is when we're seeing Jordan Travis. When the season starts, we shouldn't be seeing him. He'll be cryogenically frozen. So if we're ever going to get a gander at one Jordan Travis, the most pristine time is during camp. We're going to have joint practices with all the teams the Jets are playing against in the preseason. This is going to be a golden op for the young man to show he could come back from that very gruesome injury. And a lot of people say, I saw Connor Hughes said that the Jets believe Jordan Travis would have been a second or third round pick if you take out the injury. Of course, we can't, and he ends up falling much later in the draft in the 5th round. And I'm curious to see if we immediately see those returns and the Jets get this steal. First off, financially, because you pay people a lot more money in the 2nd round than the 5th round, so you get kind of a value there, and a value itself in the prospect, be able to learn from Aaron Rodgers and Tyrod Taylor. So JT3 circled. You're circled, young man.
You living in the real world that he's talking about Jordan Travis. All right, because I know you have no idea who JT3 is. It's not Justin Timberlake. It's not Jason Tatum. I don't know where that came from. But yes, Jordan Travis. Solid choice. I will agree with the thought that if he does play during the regular season, something has gone wrong. And that is exactly how I feel about number 4 on my list. But the chances are much higher that my number 4 will play. So that's why I got my eye on him in the training camp. I need to see, has the boy learned something last year? Damian Wudi has been waving that
Damian Wudi
flag.
Oh, I can't. Damian Woody's coming out back? He's
No.
retiring?
No, he's been waving the Carter Warren flag. We've actually talked about it on this show. Maybe you have amnesia, but he has been saying Carter Warren, the swing tackle deluxe, right? Mm-hmm. Now we know that it won't necessarily be a swing tackle. We also know that the Jets drafted Olu Fashanu, so it's not all on him like how Woody wanted it to be. But I still get nervous. I got the heebie-jeebies because I think that he will have an opportunity to play during the regular season. So I just need to get him to get these reps in against very quality edge rushers. You know, even if it's a second unit, you know, Will McDonald, EIEIO, you better get on there. And I better see some good reps this training camp from Mr. Warren.
I like it. And yeah, for those, again, the plan right now for the Jets is Carter Warren is the top backup at right tackle, and Olu Fashanu is the top backup at left. There is no universal swing tackle at this point. And that, again, if Morgan was to get hurt, Carter would be in, and vice versa. Tyron to get hurt, Olu would be in. So I'm really curious to see how that plays out, and we'll see. So not a bad name on the list. Not a bad name on the list. Let me stay in the trenches, go to the other side. One of the guys he may be competing against, one of the guys he may be getting the business from, and he's my boy. I met him at the Hall of Fame. This guy's talented. Michael Clemens is a guy I'm circling on the sheet because there is opportunity afoot. No JFM, no Bryce Huff. There's a lot of meat on the bone to be eaten. And we talk about all the big names, Jermaine Johnson, Hassan Reddick, blah, 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 blah. What about Michael Gashdarn Clemens, who has versatility? He has a mean streak. What we need to really see from Michael is consistency. And there's been some mental lapses, some mental mistakes. I think of the Giants game, 4th and 5. Jets should have gotten the ball back in prime territory. That it never gets to the crazy overtime situation and everything that happens there at the end of that ball game. If Michael Clemens doesn't jump off sides and give the Giants an automatic first down where they crank off more time, there's been other things. But there's been highlights for Michael Clemens during his career. Both special teams. He had the punt block against the Green Bay Packers, and he's also had moments where he makes plays. But again, there's just wild levels of inconsistency. And now no JFM there. The spotlight grew a little bit brighter with him getting those chances. So I love Michael Clemens, a person. The player's really talented. Let's see if he can maximize these hops. And it's going to be a fierce battle to see who ends up being, I believe, 10 defensive linemen end up making it. I believe he's one of the 10. And we'll see how it all plays out.
That's a fantastic choice. A lot of people were really high on Clemens After that rookie year, during that rookie year, Clemens was definitely getting shoved up with the upper echelon of that draft class. Now he's kind of been forgotten. Now he's been disrespected, if you will. When we talk about, JFM's gone, Clemens is waiting in the wings. I've heard the hot tuh. I've heard it used towards Michael Clemens. So I'm gonna move on to the next one.
Please
but that,
do.
like I said, that was a great choice. Great choice.
Thank you.
Number 3, Chuck Clark.
Ooh,
Okay.
All right.
What I got there's a theme here. There's a theme. I want for the regular season the team to be completely ready. Right, Hassan Reddick is a big piece. Right, Carter Warren. I feel like he's gonna play.
Oh boy, I see.
Chuck Clark is he the starting safety? I mean, that is the assumption, right? That is what we were hoping for him to come to do last year, but had the ACL tear, happened so early. He's back, he's good to go. So I just want to see how that looks, right? You ask the average person, what the weakest position on this team is, safety is going to be one of the top 3 positions mentioned, but I'm not worried about safety due to the scheme and how that position is used within Salah's scheme. I think Chuck Clark is good, and I'm expecting him to get some good reps in this training camp.
Okay. Solid. Very solid. I'm going to stay in the defensive line room, and this is a guy that some people have hated instantly. They've made fun of. I've seen articles making fun of this addition. But if anyone deserves the benefit of the doubt, it is the New York Jets defensive coaches. It's Javon Kinlaw, for me, is a guy that I have circled. He got paid a lot of moolah. Big expectations come from that. Let Quinton leave for the same money that they had him with, which we can argue and debate whether that was a good choice or not. But Kinlaw's coming in to be the starter next to Quinnen Williams. And when you think about in an ideal starting defensive line situation, you got Hassan Reddick, Quinnen Williams, Javon Kinlaw, and Jermaine Johnson. Good Lord have mercy. I imagine Javon Kinlaw is fourth in that, and he's the fourth wheel on that date. And that means he should have some prime opportunities to take advantage. And he was fully healthy last year. That was good to see. Obviously, as a former first-round draft choice, and Salah was there when they drafted him. So he knows the pre-draft process, a little bit of the player, and getting him over here. Now, they might have overpaid, it appears on the surface, to lure him in. I don't know what his free agent interest was, but I am fascinated to see the vision. The Jets obviously saw something and struck while the iron was hot very early in free agency to lure this man here. What do they know? What did they see? Again, they deserve the benefit of the doubt. Everyone's making fun of this move. I've seen some articles from JetsXFactor.com where it was like an embarrassing overpay and all these other vernacular thrown around all over the place. And again, when I saw this move, it caught me off guard. It's like, oh, okay. I thought the name 49ers, okay, that makes sense. But the money with the name was like, whoa, okay. What did they see? They obviously saw something. So I'm fascinated to see, pen put to paper. And kind of an overall thought on defensive linemen and training camp. You can't tell much in spring, in OTAs, and mandatory minicamp, but that's why a lot of them don't show up. And for big portions, Quinnen Williams, Jermaine Johnson, they skipped out, went to a pass rush camp, as Robert Saleh revealed, where they could work on techniques that they can't work on in OTAs because of the rules and restrictions and things, and they get a lot more being away from the team in those circumstances. They all reported back to mandatory minicamp outside of Hassan to work on their craft. I want to see this young man's craft, and I know a lot of people are down on this guy, but I'm intrigued, and I believe in the Jets' defensive coaching staff.
Absolutely every reason to believe in that staff. If they seen something in Kinlaw, I mean, that could be huge because what I always say, going back to the scheme that I was just talking about with Saleh is a front 4. You need 4 big dogs, and if Kinlaw got some in him, then let's do it. So that's another mighty fine choice. Now, I've been pretty cordial. I'm sure that's probably about to end. You will definitely not agree with this choice for some reason. You have a personal vendetta against this man, but if you're a fan of the Jets, You should be a fan of everybody wearing the jersey, which I try to be, unless they have the league's worst passer rating 2 straight years. And then it's tough for me to get behind that person. But in this case, I am going to get behind this person as long as he's wearing the green, the legacy white. I am going for the bounce back year. Talk to him. The lizard. That's a lizard tongue right there. Alan Lazard, the bounce back. He is Aaron Rodgers' boy. He came to this team to play with this boy, and he was robbed of this opportunity. But now,
let me know when this bit's over. I'll be back and go grab some coffee. Thanks.
He has a chance. See, look at personal hate for a man on the team that he says he roots for, but it's okay because this is the time for Allen to come back. Aaron is here, and he can try to earn some of that contract that he was given.
Are you done? You done? You done? No, let's just be real. No one is looking forward to seeing Alan Lazard in training camp. How his mother isn't looking forward to seeing him at training camp. Like, come on, man. Come on.
Look at this. It's shameful. Shameful. The disdain, the personal disdain, the personal vendetta from this journalist to a player.
Do you want to know the word I prefer to use for Lazard? Is I tolerate Lazard. For there are players on the team that I tolerate. Then I'm like, okay, they're there. I'm not going to make a big hubbub about it.
You don't make a big hubbub. You just stood up from your chair and again
because you're highlighting him in a top 5.
You made the biggest possible hubbub, which you do every single time. You cannot hear the word Lazard without freaking out. Your blood start boiling. You should be more open. You should be more honest. It is what it is. You hate the man. You hate him. You despise him.
I haven't done this yet, but I know one thing that would make me feel differently is if I could just Men in Black myself and just swing. And I'm like, what? Where am I? What happened? The neuralizer. Okay. And then I go back and watch the One Jets Drive short they did on Alan Lazard, talking about his story, undrafted free agent. He was at that random pizza place in New Jersey. He was just leaning back with his shades and talking about his life. And I remember tweeting out that clip and getting so emotional now. I remember watching that clip go, wow, what a story. Look at this guy. He earned it, man. Rodgers, this is going to be spectacular. And I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And then it wasn't. So what I need to do is after this show's over, I'm going to go watch that clip and maybe something will move inside of me. Because right now, there's no needle moving. There's no nothing. There's just a level of disgust. Just utter disgust.
High level disgust. But Brandon, you should be more like Brandon. Again, we are Jets fans. We root for the team. So sure. He may not like Lazard.
He clearly doesn't.
He is rooting. He is rooting for Lazard's success because Lazard's success is New York Jets success. So
I'm not rooting against Lazard. I don't want him to get hit by a car. I'm just saying that, I don't want him on the field. Because I had seen enough last year. It can't get worse. It can't. And I'd rather some of those ops go to other players on the team. Plain simple.
We will see. We'll see what happens. That's why I got my eye open.
I wish he had his eyes open. Maybe to catch a few more passes. But that's neither here nor there, I suppose. Anywho, do you want to see my I have a draft list here of guys that's all numbered. Alan Lazard didn't make the list. Didn't make the honorable mention. Didn't make the list in general.
If he
might be last.
All 90 members of the roster, he would probably be 102.
Yeah,
it's a personal vendetta. That doesn't mean too much. Doesn't hold too much weight because you're not an objective observer. But it's okay. Show us your objective analysis on number 2 of your list. Let's see who you got.
Yeah, I would just say that I think. Yeah, never mind. I won't say the joke I was going to say. Okay, the fact of the matter is the next guy on my list, at number 2 on the list, is Tariq Cohen. I am fascinated to see what this young man has left in store in his career. There's been devastating injuries year after year after year. He apparently showed some burst, was running with the ones a little bit. I think that part's overrated. Brees Hall wasn't participating, so I saw a lot was made of that. But, um, the thing that I really like about it is like he's an easy story to root for. A guy that's been through devastating injuries, and the worst one was he has this Instagram. I was watching live when it happened. He had, I don't know why I was on Tariq Cohen's random Instagram live stream in some spring, but I was. So I'm like, oh, look, Tariq Cohen. And the headline was like, fighting back, coming back. I'm like, oh, this is great. And Tariq Cohen in the middle of it goes down like a sack of potatoes. And I'm like, no way that just happened on a live Instagram workout video. And then like the camera goes, oh, geez. And then it's off. And that was a blown Achilles for Tariq Cohen, which sucks. So I can't be, you said I'm not really rooting for Lazard. There's no one I could be rooting for harder than Tariq Cohen. But now it's going to get real. Okay, everyone's prancing around. Woo, Tariq Cohen looks like the second coming of the Messiah in OTAs. Okay, now let's get the pads on. Let's see what's popping. Again, it's not like the Jets defense is ever going to be killing guys, right? The quarterbacks can't be touched. Like Garrett Wilson isn't going to get lit up and get smacked. And Take Flight Today, a.k.a. Brent here, saying Tariq is a great story. He does. And beyond the story, it's not just a Hollywood script of, wow, there's a guy to root for. Like, he's a former All-Pro. So, like, the resume is there. The increased attention to special teams this year with the rule changes. I'm all over Tariq Cohen. I'm interested to see what happens to the pads. Again, with the pads comes the risk of injury. So his own mental game with durability and things of that nature, all that's going to come into play. So it will be a story to keep an eye out for. Number 2 on the list is former All-Pro, Tariq Cohen.
Well, we will definitely be watching that room, that running back room, in my opinion, is if we were doing it by rooms, that is the most interesting room to me. We know Brees Lightning.
He's pretty good.
Everybody else, kind of question marks whether they've ever played in the NFL, whether it's been years since they played in the NFL, whether they are coming back from injury, whether they're, a baby pretty much, coming out of diapers. The Jets, they seem to always have the youngest player in the league, on their team, the New York daycare. But that room has a lot of questions, and I am looking for answers. So the number 1 player on my list is actually Braylon Allen. I want to know, what is this kid about? This could be the running back too. Brees, like we just said, Brees is Brees Lightning. We know what's going to happen. I don't foresee Brees getting 40 touches a game, 30 touches. I don't think they're just going to throw that workload back on him. They saw the ACL tear. They have long-term goals. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I think they would prefer to have a committee of sorts, handle the running back duties. That's what Aaron has had for the last 5-6 years of his career, between Aaron Jones and I'm forgetting his name, but I'm picturing Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones and Jamal
BYU.
Williams, and then AJ Dillon coming in. We thought last year Dalvin Cook and Brees, right? So with Brees here now, can Braylon step up and be that RB2? Is it Tariq Cohen? Is it Isaiah Davis? I feel like it's taboo to say it, but is it Israel Abanikanda Wakanda? I don't know. I don't know. But right now, with all the hype that's going towards Braylon, with him being the youngest, but also the biggest, the strongest, it seems like the hype is on him. All eyes are on him. If you poll the Jets fan base, I would imagine almost all of them are going to say he is the RB2. So I need to see it. I need to see it with pads on. I need to see it, in training camp, in preseason. I will definitely be looking at Braylon because there's a lot of, I don't want to say pressure, but there's a lot of hype being put on him. And I'm not one to get on a hype train just because it left the station. I need to actually see it to believe it.
Apparently not, because Alan Lazard, the train never left the station. You have nothing to hype
You
up.
really act like Alan Lazard's career started last year, as if he doesn't have like valuable seasons before coming to the Jets.
Anywho, before I get to number one, speaking of hype videos, let me throw this up on the screen. Michael Clemens, there's this workout video going around right now on social media. Look at that. Pa, 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 pa. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this man getting all this hand drills in. Boom. Look at that pass rusher. Look at that body. Look at that physicality. Oh, yeah. What do you think of Michael Clemens here, Woody? Maybe you should put him on the list. He'll jack you up, pal.
I mean, I the people on my list can protect me from Clement. I mean, Carter Warren. That right. I was just talking about the people he'll be getting reps from. Right. I said Will McDonald, Clement. Hey, Carter. Look at this video, man. You better step up that game. Step up that game, man.
Look at those chops. Whoo. Michael Clemens.
Looking like Ric Flair out there.
Coming through. Yeah. Woo. Oh, yeah. It's spectacular. So let's get it. And I love all the people. We'll go through some of yours at the end of the show. So you guys are submitting. So if you guys have players that we didn't mention that, or that we did, either way, that you believe are your players to watch in training camp, let us know both on Instagram, and also we could see them here on YouTube and Twitter. My number one player on the list is this. And before I reveal the name, I know the Jets aren't having Hard Knocks this year, but I just did see the Giants just released their little trailer. We're going to have like 12 different kinds of Hard Knocks. There's an off-season Hard Knocks coming out in like next week with the Giants. There's an in-season Hard Knocks. There's a normal Hard Knocks. I mean, just Hard Knocks overload, for Pete's sake. But the thing I love about Hard Knocks, in general, I love the show, but in general, it's the stories. It's the guy that doesn't have a clear path to a gig that earns his way and impresses the staff. And we see things behind the scenes and they're fighting. And then we get the last episode of, oh boy, are they turning in that playbook? Or are they coming in the other side? My number one story is Cole Laval. He is the former UFL offensive lineman. The last 2 years with the San Antonio Brahmas. Before that, he played in college at Hawaii and the City of College of San Francisco in California. That's a mouthful. He played there at a community college, and it's just a great story. I had the pleasure of interviewing him, so shameless plug. That interview you guys can go check out. But Cole, man, he can play all 5 offensive line positions. He's a mammoth of a man. I think he said he weighed in at the Jets physical at 6'6", 335 pounds. He's a massive man. Most recently, he's been playing guard, but also has experience at center. I think he's the guy that people aren't talking about. I think the Jets are not going to make the same mistake they've made in years past where they only keep 9 offensive linemen. I believe they keep 10, and there is a door open for Cole Laval to be that 8, 9, 10 guy, whatever that number is, with the rest of the line. He has versatility. This is his first crack at the NFL, so obviously he's hungry for this chance and this op. Those are the stories you root for. An easy guy to root for, a powerful story. If you go back and, again, I don't have enough time to go through his whole story here on the show, but you guys can go check out that interview. It's a moving story, and the Jets need offensive linemen, and they can never have enough. And I love the Laval story. I think at a minimum, he has a chance at the practice squad. But quite frankly, I think he's got a legitimate shot at the 53-man roster. So Cole Laval is the number one player I'm looking at ahead of training camp.
Oh, thank you for that, Boy Green.
Yeah.
Very, very objective. You know, the dude that you just interviewed, number one. So TJ Maxx, you said, or what did you say his name was? You said, was it
Cole Laval? That's funny.
Oh, Cole. I don't even know what it was, but whatever it was, that dude is number one.
Yeah.
We will definitely, have a moment of silence when he gets cut from the squad.
Oh, how dare you. Will we do that for Lazard, by the way? Are we going to do that for Lazard?
Well, it's not going to happen.
I'm going to call when he gets his ass cut. Expect a phone call. And I don't want you to pick up. I just want to have the satisfaction of knowing that you saw that I called and then you just muttered something to yourself, bitch. That's it. That's all I want. That's the only thing I want. So I just want you to know that.
Okay. All right. Whatever you say. But I liked what you just said. Not about TJ Maxx. I was talking about with the fans, right? Their names. So Quantez Stiggers is actually the very first name that I wrote on this notebook. I was like, oh, I got my eye on him. As I started writing other names down, started moving pieces around. I will definitely have my eye on Quantez. You want to talk about stories? I mean, his, I would say pound for pound. I don't know anybody in the league with a better story than Quan. But the reason why he ended up falling out of my top 5 was because ultimately I don't see, like, every person on my list, apart from Alan Lazard, is pretty much a lock to play this season. I don't know how much Quan is going to play this rookie year. And I think we all agree. We kind of hope not a lot, right? We hope Sauce and DJ and everybody, is healthy. But definitely love that he's a Jet. Will love to see his development and can't wait until he is a starter for this team.
Yeah, well, again, I had Stickers initially on, but I had too many rookies. Like, I was putting this list together. I had Malachi Corley on and all these other rookies. I'm like, I don't just want a rookie list. Here are the top 5 rookies that I'm looking at. So I rearranged the list completely. Yeah, rookies I had on the list initially. Obviously, Jordan Travis I mentioned. Corley was on my list. Stickers was on my list. I'm like, too many rookies. Whoop, whoop. And I removed a lot of them from the list. I think, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I ended up only having the only rookie technically that ended up making the list was Travis. Technically, Laval is a rookie to the NFL. He's never been in the NFL before until now, but didn't want too many rookies. But Stickers is a great story. Let's see all these pick sixes. He had multiple during the OTA process. It'll be really interesting to see if he can kind of make the transition when pads are on and things are coming. Corley, obviously an honorable mention. Everyone says with pads on, he's going to be a freak. We'll see if that is indeed true. He'll be interesting. You mentioned Hassan Reddick. So Reddick, I just hope he's there in general. That would be a great guy to potentially watch. And then 2 other honorable mentions. Jason Brownlee. Everyone's Connor Hughes wrote to me and said, "Oh man, I've been hearing whispers about Jason Brownlee. Let's see if that's true." Jason Brownlee. And then Elijah Tucker is supposed to be ready for camp. We haven't seen this bastard in a long ass time outside of a press conference opportunity. Getting on the pads, getting on the field. Continuity is super important, especially ahead of a week 1 matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. So a lot of names on the list. You can't go wrong. We didn't have any crossover, I don't think, and that's good business. That just goes to show you all the wonderful players that are on this team of intrigue.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Ralph was talking about Will McDonald. I think Boy Green and I feel differently about McDonald. There is no Jet that I'm blinded by hate. Like how Boy Green, just hates Allen. Blood boils. But for Will McDonald, I feel like we've seen, he's had good in training camps. He's had good, plays in preseason. For me, to hear that again doesn't really move the needle. I got to see it in a real game against, the starting caliber talent. I don't see, unless I don't even know. I don't think there is a report I can hear about Will McDonald that will change my current feeling or current opinion. Right now, I'm ready to see him play regular season NFL games.
Yeah, again, when you mention that, I just go back to the Hall of Fame game, which again was an awesome experience to be there live in person. And when I saw that Will McDonald spin move Dwight Freeney style, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is preseason game number 1. All of a sudden I'm like, oh, do we have Lawrence Taylor? Who the hell do we have here? When I saw that spin move, because he didn't even get the sack because of how the play ended up going. The quarterback rolled out of the pocket, but it was just so quick, so fast. I'm like, damn, if we're seeing flashes like this, just imagine what we could do. And he ended up having 3 sacks in the year. Again, he didn't get a lot of PT, so take that for what you will. He had the lowest amount of snaps for a first-round draft choice since Vernon Golston. So 3 sacks, considering when you look at the analytics, that's actually pretty good because you could start extrapolating the numbers. Now, that's not always a fair thing to do. It's like if I catch 5 passes in a first quarter, like, wow, Paul would have broke the reception record this year if you qualify that over 17 games. Yeah, okay, but that's not that's it's easy to do on paper, but that's not in actuality to actually twist those numbers. So yeah, I'm high on Will because of all that obvious talent, but let's see, because there's some big guys he's replacing. Bryce Huff, who is wildly productive, JFM, who wasn't as productive with those crazy numbers, but overall, he was a very important cog to the machine. So I will be intrigued. So McDonald's an interesting one, but I do lean towards Wudi. Let's see it against the 49ers. He does that spin move and smacks Brock Purdy. We're like, okay, cha-cha-ching, cha-cha-cha-chia. We got Will McDonald's here, baby. But yeah, more preseason hype and stuff of that nature. I don't know if that really moves the needle. And here's another one from Brandon. Any thoughts on my Arkansas boy, Brady Latham? Woody?
Yeah, absolutely. I seen that, Brandon. I appreciate you. You've been here from the beginning. So I would imagine, he's battling Boy Green's boy, TJ Maxx over there. The Jets desperately need help in the interior. So if he can come on and make an impact for the team, I'm all for it. Because right now, I don't love the interior, behind the starters. I don't even love all the starters. Boy Green knows how I feel about Homer Simpson, but there's Wes, right? And that's the only person I like. I know obviously there are other guards on the roster. That's the only interior offensive line I like. I keep begging for Connor McGovern. They don't want to listen to me.
Doesn't sound like
Keith Carter. Very controversial or polarizing, I should say, opinions of him as a coach, but it would be up to him. He is probably the most important non-Brady Latham person in Brady Latham's success as a New York Jet. So hopefully they can connect and get him where they feel like he needs to be to make the team, because again, the Jets' interior offensive line is where I am most worried about on the entire roster.
Wow. We have a question here from Instagram. I can't pop them up as cool as I can on the others. Abby says, did Woody cut his hair? LOL. Because it is absentee. All we're seeing is a big hat and, a big collection plate, a bag of your hair, I assume, that's in that up there, upstairs. You seem to be adopting the Mike Williams beanie any time of the season sort of strategy, which is happening here. Any thoughts to what Abby asked on social media here on Instagram?
Of course. She knows. I mean, she's also team beanie. All day, every day, as am I. But no, it is still all there. Every strand is exactly where I left it yesterday. It's just, we're just keeping it cool, up in the hat for right now.
Okay. Well, thank you, Abby, for that wonderful question. We appreciate you. Abby's phenomenal. So God bless. We appreciate that. And what do you make of Rudy's comment here on YouTube? Jets are scared of the Bills. Pensive face here.
I mean, a team that lost to Zach Wilson, not once but twice in the last 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah. I couldn't be less scared of the Bills. I think the Bills are about to fall off. Call them Humpty Dumpty. All right, just fall off that wall. I truly believe the AFC East is a two-man race.
Okay.
Between the Jets and the Dolphins. The Dolphins have a really good team. I like their coach. They got defensive reinforcements. Every single free agent that Boy Green wanted went to the Dolphins. I think he works for them. They have a good team. The Bills? What about oh my God, the Bills? They are nothing. They are literally nothing. Lost to Zach. Now we got Aaron, so your boy's not caring.
Yeah, Rudy, the only thing I will say is we mentioned Ric Flair earlier with the chops. Woo, 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 woo. My Ric Flair belief is to be the man, you have to beat the man. And that is a tribal belief, a foundational belief of mine. And to knock off the tribal chief, you must beat the tribal chief. And the Jets have done that again, twice in the last 2 years. But they've won the division 4 times in a row. Even when it looked like they should have lost it last year, the Dolphins collapsed like a used lawn chair and Buffalo took it from them in Miami, which changed the destiny of both teams because Miami wouldn't have had to go to Kansas City in a degree temperature. They would have hosted the Bills instead, which changes everything and who plays who and all that other jazz. So, again, I have a tip of the cap to Buffalo, even though they've undergone unbelievable change this offseason. I give them the tip of the cap, so we have to beat them. We have to live up to the billing, and the Jets will get them for a primetime affair. I believe that one's week 6, so I'm looking forward to that being there. So I am looking forward to that.
Hey, there's only one division rival that the Jets were winless to, and that's the only team in my crosshairs. All right,
That's the fish. Yeah,
want to beat them bad. All right, the Bills don't even matter. I eat buffalo.
Wow.
I'm about to eat buffalo wings after the show. I don't care about
great. Thanks for the invite on that, by the way. Hey, one last comment just coming in at the buzzer. We have Jared B., which, again, I appreciate being a member of the Boy Green Coffee Club, baby, for a small fee every month on youtube.com/BoyGreenTube. His comment is this: is the chatter of Mike Williams not being ready for Camp New, or is he on the same schedule as he was? Wudi.
Same schedule, right? Just like Brees Hall. So there ain't nothing to worry about. Your boy is asleep on that. I'm so excited. I think Boy Green, and obviously you can correct me when if I'm wrong.
I like to do that. So, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say that I think you feel like there will be a couple weeks where he might not be, 100%. He might not even play in general. It's gonna be a ramp up. I think it's week 1, ready to go, baby. Just like if you get the new edition of Madden, right, and the team is healthy, right, there's no injuries. I think that's exactly how it's going to be from Mike Williams' standpoint. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen in training camp, but from Mike Williams, he will be ready week 1, just like Brees was ready week 1 last year and started off. Oh my God, did he start off with a bang? I think Mike Williams, he might not start off with a bang, but we don't need him to. He's just one of the receivers out there. So yes, I think he is good to go. Wouldn't be worried about this one bit.
Yeah, what we've heard for Mike Williams is exactly what Woody said. It's supposed to be a mid-August PUP activation, which was the same timeline that Brees Hall was on, which means, again, we won't see him kind of initially, probably, like in person, sure, but like on the field action, and then he's got to return to full football activities. Remember, even when Brees Hall came back, he didn't come back in and get 100% of the reps. Like, they worked him along slowly, so the Jets will have that benefit to do so. With Mike Williams. So from all accounts, no setbacks on Mike Williams so far, to answer a series of your questions here, Jared B. I'm just nervous because of some of the verbiage that has been used by the team and things of that nature. Mike Williams himself said he'd be ready for camp, so I'm looking forward to it. But he's just such an important piece to this puzzle because, again, with Mike Williams in the lineup, we're like, ooh, okay, this wide receiving core is pretty good. When you remove him, you start to squint at the wide receiving core and you can see warts. Beyond Garrett Wilson. And again, Mike Williams is so important to this squad. So appreciate you, Jared. Thanks for the question. As Brandon says, on the way out, 20 days until the new college football video game, which I can't wait. And then Madden is shortly thereafter. So we got plenty of things coming up on the horizon, and I couldn't be more excited, Woody.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I want to thank every one of you on all the different platforms, YouTube, X, Instagram, just everybody who was just here with us. Tuesday, top 5s, talking about training camp. It's your boys. Love seeing the comments, love answering the questions. These hairs, they're still here. No worries. You might see them dangling when it's third party Thursday, this Thursday, 2 days away, with a special guest, another Jets content creator.
Yeah, and this one from Rudy's world. We dive into a lot of my worlds in the Twitter sphere. This time, we're going to dip our toe in the Instagram waters for one of those crazy millennial Instagram Jet people. So that should, I think, millennial? I don't know. I got to double check the age on this individual, but I'm assuming I'm throwing him in the millennial pool, but it should be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Definitely looking forward to it. Appreciate you, James. From one James to another, and we'll see you guys soon.
Should be a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody, and we will see you next time. For Boy Green and James and the Giant Peach, we'll see you. God bless.